And we are back for probably the final, definitely will be the final 4-game NBA slate of the season. It's weird that we have 4 games on a Wednesday. It's weird that the scheduling worked out that way. But my name is DK, and again, we'll be breaking down the DFS slate in this video. I also make content for Prize Picks. I had a great day on Prize Picks. Full swept the Tacos once again that I gave on Twitter. 17-2 now over the last 5 weeks. But if you guys are not on Prize Picks or you're not familiar with it, you can use the code DKDFS for 100% match up to $100. I'll have it linked down below. How it works is you are taking player props. They have a ton of different sports that they offer at the top. You can mix and match sports, and you can build 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 player props, and up to 25x your money. So again, if you want to give it a try, make sure to use that code and take advantage of that free money. All right, so before we get into the breakdown, let's recap everything from last night. Or tonight, I should say. So tonight, good night. But man, if Anthony Edwards could have hit that 3 to send it to overtime, I would have had a huge night. Because I full stacked Minnesota, Denver, and that was so close. The 3-pointer looked like it was going in. It was also great. Cat and Gobert fouled out. I had Ant, Prince, and Murray, Jokic, NAW. So just it would have been ideal for me if I could have gotten lucky one time. But no, you all know from this channel, no one runs worse than me. I can't get lucky one time. No way. It's never going to happen. But yeah, I put all my chips into that Minnesota-Denver game. It ended up working out because the 3 stars I played absolutely smashed in that game. Jokic, 80 bomb, Ant, 53, Jamal Murray, 51. I played Brogdon and Bogdanovic in the first game. Bogdanovic smashed. Malcolm Brogdon, how did the faders know that he would basically have negative fantasy points in the second half? He had 20 at halftime, finished with 20. How did they know? Torian Prince was solid at low ownership. And then Josh Okogie was also solid at low ownership. So that rounded out my lineup. But kind of the stars and scrubs route, because I liked some of the value at low ownership. I was really high in Prince at low ownership. I liked Koji at low ownership. And it just allowed me to get those stars that I wanted, Jokic and Murray and an Ant. So, if that game would have went to overtime, it would have been a massive night, but still a good night overall. It's been a great playoffs for me and hoping to keep it going. Also, as I said in Prize Picks, went 5-3 overall. So close to full sweep, 8-0. Every miss was a hook. Bogdanovic had 13.2 fantasy score. I needed 13.5 in the first half, and he absolutely smashed this in the second half, which is so incredibly tilting. Murray hooked me on assists, and then Zubac was under his 9.5 rebounds, but they stack corrected and gave him another one to go over. I was just so incredibly tilted. But again, we full swept the tacos. These are tacos plus Patreon plays. That's a 25x there. You love to see that. I retweeted a lot of them, but this is the best, seeing people get those W's. And thanks everyone for participating. We had 800 likes, almost 80,000 people viewed this tweet. So it's been a phenomenal run for us on Taco Tuesday. All right, so let's talk about these 4 games. Starting off New York and Cleveland, this game should be pretty ugly, but both teams running relatively tight rotations, especially Cleveland. So on the New York side, you got Brunson at 7.5. Randall at sub 7K is wild. He got benched last game. Has not had the best playoff series so far, but I like the price point on him. I don't think we can expect him to get benched again. The minutes have been down. It's weird. Randall's playing a lot more in the regular season. The minutes are down on him in the postseason. But if you give him mid-30s minutes at sub 7K, it's going to stand out. I still prefer Brunson, to be honest, at 7.5, played 43 minutes last game. He's turning into their go-to guy. So even though Randall, I think, is underpriced, I actually still prefer Brunson. No real strong take on RJ Barrett. His minutes can fluctuate. He's playing well. He kind of get extended, but those minutes are never guaranteed for him. Josh Hart started last game for Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes is out again. Hart starts. Then I think Hart is a very, very good play in the mid-range. Just the guy I think stuff the statue would be very safe. Robinson and Hartenstein should split the center position. Both are reasonable values. Quickly's been awful, more of just a dart throw in tournaments. Obi Toppin, again, played more last game, but I don't think we expect that again. And then if Grimes plays, That just makes everyone a bit riskier. Guys like Barrett and Hart should lose minutes. On the Cleveland side, where they're basically just going to play 6 guys like the entire game. Mitchell was awful last game, but I expect a nice bounce back from him. He shot 5 of 18, but he's going to play 40-ish minutes. I think he's a really, really good play sub 9K. Garland at 7K, I think is very safe. Again, he should play close to 40 minutes, as is the front court and Mobley and Allen. Both have been kind of quiet, the Cleveland front court, but 6.2 and 6.6K for guys that should play close to 40 minutes does stand out. And LeVert, I think, will be a pretty popular play. Assuming he continues to start, it's hard not to like him with that eligibility. 40, 35, and 39 minutes. I do like LeVert quite a bit. My boy Chetty Osman getting some run, averaging about 20 minutes off the bench. He's a fine dart throw. And then you'll probably see a little bit of Isaac Okoro as well. But that's basically going to be the rotation for Cleveland. Lakers and Grizzlies. So LeBron, AD, if you have the salary for these guys, they're both solid options. But I don't think that these guys are must-plays. I think Reeves will probably be the most popular play on the Lakers. He should play mid to high 30s minutes. Nice eligibility. I think he's a very, very safe play. D'Lo's minutes have not been great, but he's 6K. If he's knocking out of shots, he does have a ceiling. I actually do prefer Reeves to him. Rui Hachimura finally did not shoot 70% from the field and punished the people that chased it. Thank you. I was just getting so incredibly tilted about the people that continue to chase Rui and continue to get bailed out with 75% shooting. Finally, a subpar shooting game for Rui to punish the slappies, but I'm not saying he's completely out of play. I'm not playing Rui over like Reeves or Russell, so would much rather have those guys. Vanderbilt had an outlier game last game, had 3 blocks, 15 points. I think he's fine, but again, last game was a clear outlier. I do like Dennis Schroeder at 3.8 though. Played 30 minutes last game. I think on average he's going to play low 20s minutes. I think he's a pretty solid value. I'm not going to get to Troy Brown. I'm not going to get to Malik Beasley. For Memphis, well, Goat Morant did not have the best shooting game, 8 of 24, but I still like his upside. You saw the massive ceiling game from him 2 games ago. Jaren and Bane I like for GPPs. Jaren, if he can stay out of foul trouble, has that very high ceiling guy that can block 4 or 5 shots. And Desmond Bane finally came alive last game, 1 for 50+ fantasy points. So this Memphis team in general, I think, looks pretty good for tournaments. Xavier Tillman, I mean, he's been like the primary defender on either AD or LeBron. He's been playing really well. A guy that has a relatively high floor. I think he's pretty safe. I think he's a big part of this rotation right now. So I like Xavier Tillman. Dylan Brooks, well, he has not been great, but he's playing a ton of minutes and it's only 4.6K. So I think he's going to be one of the more popular value plays, but again, for good reason. Nice eligibility, cheap price point. So hate to say it, but I do like Dylan Brooks. Luke Kennard's 4-1. His minutes have not been great of late. I think he's more of a tournament-only play. Tyus Jones, minutes down. You'll probably see a little bit of Roddy, a little bit of Aldama, but those guys are just punt plays right now. Roddy has played a little more of late over Aldama. Miami and Milwaukee. So this game has just like Milwaukee blowout written all over it, in my personal opinion. I think Milwaukee just destroys Miami here. Miami, after that insane Jimmy Butler game, up 3-1, but now going on the road. I don't want to talk about the Miami rotation in the first half. Just literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen, that first half rotation for Miami. Strus, Martin, and Lowry all sub 10 minutes in the first half. Like, what on earth are we doing? I'm still mad about it. The Love and Duncan people. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, 9.4. I like his ceiling. Might be a little bit overowned after last game. I do think there's blowout risk in this game. Bam Adebayo has been awful. But, I mean, I think 7.1K does make him viable if you think the game stays competitive. This is where it just gets tough, man. I mean, I already have a feeling that Love and Duncan Robinson are going to be popular, and the people that play there are going to get bailed out. How did the Love fish know that he would have 2 blocks and a steal last fall into the luck stats? And Duncan Robinson would play 30 minutes. It's just so mad about that still. Like, what are we doing giving those guys? Like, Love is dust defensively. Duncan's dust defensively. Why are we not playing Martin, Lowry more, and don't... Don't get me started with this guy. -1. -1. All I'm going to say is this. If Strus starts again, I like him for tournaments, right? No one will play him. No one, after what happened last game. But when he is playing well and making shots, they will extend him, and he does have this type of ceiling. He's an interesting tournament play for me, assuming he continues to start, that being Max Strus. Lowry, Martin, I was really shocked about their minutes in last game. Only 24 minutes for Lowry and 25 minutes for Martin. Just didn't make sense, but I think both those guys are fine. I think I feel a little bit better about Lowry. Again, Love, like, he'll be productive when he's on the court, but like, I just don't have confidence with his minutes. You did deal, Bam had 2 quick ones, so he got extended last game. He's just someone that they will pull the plug on very early if he's getting cooked defensively. So I'm going to fade again if he's going to be popular as chalk. And if he gets there for the slappies, then you're just going to see me. It's very simple. I tell people this in the Discord. I fade a bad chalk play and they do well. It's really simple. I'm just going to be extremely tilted on Twitter, right? I'm going to call out the slappies, right? Very simple. So if Love's popular tomorrow, I'm not going to play him. If he lucks into 3 blocks and 3 steals at high ownership, and you're just going to see me very upset. You're going to see me very upset in the video tomorrow. Very simple. Very simple stuff. Gabe Vincent, 4-3. Again, he got 29 minutes, and he's this Miami rotation, man. I thought Highsmith would play, and he did. He played 14 minutes. It's like, if I was the coach of the Miami Heat, I'm giving big minutes to Jimmy and Bam, obviously, and I'm giving big minutes to Martin, Lowry, Strus, and Vincent. Right? That's what makes sense. Giving minutes to Dusty, Kevin Love, and not Dusty, but just awful defender Duncan Robinson. Not making a ton of sense. So it'll be really interesting to see the ownership tomorrow, right? Like, for example, I have a feeling Duncan Robinson's going to get more ownership than Max Strus. And for me, like, give me Max Strus over Duncan Robinson at lower ownership all day long. All day long. It comes down to who's making their shots. And if everyone's just going to chase Duncan Robinson, I'm going to go to Strus. So it'll be really interesting to see the ownership. You could already tell. I'm getting tilted because I already know. I kind of know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to be really, really upset if some of these bad chalk plays get there. Really upset. All right, Milwaukee. So Giannis, 10-4, I think is a really good spend up. I think Milwaukee just destroys Miami. So I do like Giannis, played 38 minutes last game. He looks good. Drew, Middleton, Lopez, all reasonable plays. No priorities here. Obviously, you saw the massive game from Brook Lopez, but that was clearly an outlier performance from him. I'm not getting to Portis. I think Allen, Connaughton, and Ingles are fair value plays. Allen's the guy that I'm most confident with his minutes. Finally, Golden State and Sacramento, the game that I'm the most excited for. This should be a good one. For Golden State, you got Steph Curry at 9.5K. In a competitive game, I expect him to play about 40 minutes. The ceiling is super high on him. But I really like the mid-range here for Golden State. Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, Looney. These guys are playing massive minutes. Sub 7K for Klay Thompson. Andrew Wiggins is sub 7K, played 38 minutes last game. Draymond came off the bench, played 31 minutes. I'd prefer if he starts. We'll keep an eye on that starting lineup. Looney played 30-ish minutes. He's been playing extremely well. Poole started last game at 5K, played mid-20s minutes. There's just a lot to like here in the mid-range. Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, Looney, Poole. They barely played anyone else. DiVincenzo played 14 minutes or 16 minutes. You barely saw anything from Peyton. You saw a couple minutes from Moody, but that was basically it. They gave their main guys a ton of run. And then finally, the Sacramento Kings. Light the beam, man. De'Aaron Fox is actually going to play with that broken finger. It'll be interesting to see, how that affects him. But sub 9K for De'Aaron Fox. That looks really good. I'm just, a little bit worried about the finger. My boy Sabonis has not played as well in this series. Golden State's done well defensively on him, but I still think he's a fine GPP play that should play close to 40 minutes. The rest of the Kings is where it gets tricky, and we've talked about this all series. So they will go with the hot hand. Right? First couple games of the series, it was Keegan Murray getting benched. A couple games ago, it was Monk getting benched. Last game, it was Kevin Huerter. So there's never a guarantee when you play these guys. Monk, Huerter, Murray. One of those guys will not be in the closing lineup, right? I think the ceiling is probably the highest on Monk at 5.9K. Herter, again, did not play well last game and did not close, but most of the time he's going to play around 30 minutes. Keegan Murray saw the bump. Again, first 2 games he was not closing. Last game he did, played 33 minutes. And then you got Harrison Barnes, who's the guy that most likely will close, but has like the lowest ceiling. So that group of wings, all in play for tournaments for me for the Kings. Davion Mitchell also could be in the closing lineup, but he's just too expensive at 4.9. I'm not going to mess with Lyles. I'm not going to mess with Len. So that's basically it for the Kings. That's going to do it for the video as well. So I really appreciate you guys for watching. As always, again, last 4 game slate of the season. Excited to watch these games. Good luck, and we'll see you all in the next video.